Good morning, children. Today we are going to begin with the second chapter of the book Supplementary Reader Footprints Without Feet. And the title of the story is The Thief's Story. It is the story of a thief narrated by a thief. Do you know who's the writer of this story? It is written by the famous writer Ruskin Bond. I know most of you must have heard the name Ruskin Bond. Here is the photograph as well as the detailed description of this man, the famous author Ruskin Bond. Indian author, lives at present also in Missouri. And the Indian Council for Child Education has recognized his role in the growth of children's literature in India. His famous and first book was The Untouchables, the Society of India undergoing touchables and untouchables. The novel book titled Untouchables. He did his education at the Bishop Cotton School, Shimla, and has written many stories for children. He has been awarded with the Sahitya Academy Award as well as Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan in 2014. There you can see he wrote one of his first short stories, Untouchable, at the age of 16 in 1951, and he won several competitions in the school itself. He was awarded for his writing, and finally he became a writer. So we are going to read today The Thief's Story, written by Ruskin Bond. A young boy makes friends with Anil. This young boy is the narrator in the story. This young boy itself is narrating his own story, meeting with Anil. Anil trusts him completely and employs him. Anil trusted this boy, and this boy says, I was a thief, still Anil trusted me and employed me as a cook. Does the boy betray his trust? We do not know what this thief is going to teach us today. So let's find out. Yes, dear children, read and find out. These questions are also to be done in your notebook. Remember always, okay? Because after knowing what the story is all about, you are able to answer these questions, and these questions are framed according to a 2-mark question. Answer should be in 30 to 40 words, which is maximum 4 to 5 lines. So let's start reading the story. I was still a thief when I met Anil, and though only 15, I was an experienced and fairly successful hand. Fairly successful hand at, he himself says, a thief story. He was a thief. So he was a thief when he met this man named Anil, and he was only 15 years old and a successful thief. That means he knew how to steal things, how to fool people, how to make people trust on him. This way he is explaining us. Anil was watching a wrestling match. I hope you all know what is wrestling match. You must have seen, boys are interested in it. So Anil was watching a wrestling match when I approached him. He was about 25. Anil was 25 years old, a tall, lean fellow. Not very fat. And he looked easygoing. Easygoing, a man who is simple. Not very clever, so simple. Easygoing, kind, and simple enough for my purpose. Such people are easily targeted by thieves. Why? They can actually betray them. They can steal things. They can actually take things away from them. They are simple enough, not clever enough to judge people. That's why. So he was easygoing, kind and simple enough for my purpose. The question can be, why did Hari Singh? Hari Singh is the name of this thief. So why did he choose Anil to be his target? This is the answer. I hadn't had much luck of late. Much luck of late recently. Late is recently I didn't have had much luck. And I thought I might be able to get into the young man's confidence. I did not get any such target. Target is any such person whom I could steal, from whom I could steal. So I hadn't had much luck of late and thought I might be able to get into this young man's confidence. I may take him into my confidence and get into this person's confidence so that he feels that he can trust me in this way. So this is the meaning. You look a bit of a wrestler yourself, I said. So he started the conversation. Who said? Hari Singh said to Anil. You look a bit of wrestler yourself. A little flattery helps in making friends. So he says, how do I connect with people? How do I make friendship with people he says a little flattery. Flatter them that you're smart, great, or you are yourself a wrestler, how intelligent you are. This way you can start talks with anybody. So do you, he replied, which put me off for a moment. That means I couldn't understand whether he's clever, what is he trying to say, because Hari Singh was not kind of a wrestler. So Anil replied, which put me off, put my senses off for a moment, because at that time I was rather thin. A thin man cannot be said like, you look like a wrestler, while I said this to Anil. So I could not understand. Well, I said modestly, I do wrestle a bit. I do a little bit of wrestling. What's your name? Anil asked. Hari Singh, I lied. So Hari Singh is not the real name. He has lied it. I took a new name every month that kept me ahead of the police and my former employers. Whomsoever I have robbed in my life, I change my name at every particular place, with every new person. Why? So that person doesn't know my real name, and the police is not able to catch me, neither my employers are able to find out. These days we have the option of, whenever you employ somebody, keep on rent, you should check their name, their Aadhaar card. This was not the kind of trend that time when Hari Singh did his job. So I took a new name every month that kept me ahead of the police and my former employers. After this introduction, Anil talked about the well-oiled wrestlers who were grunting, lifting and throwing each other. Grunting is gah. That way they do now when they are completely energetic at that time, active. So the noise they make. Grunting, lifting and throwing each other about. I didn't have much to say. Anil walked away. So what more should I talk? I didn't have any topic to talk about. Anil walked away. I followed casually. Hello again, he said. I gave him my most appealing smile. That means not a true smile but a fake smile, so as to convince him for something. I want to work for you, I said. So I directly stated my purpose of meeting him again. I want to work for you, I said. Anil replied, but I can't pay you. I thought that over for a minute. Perhaps I had misjudged my man. I thought this person to be rich. And the way he is answering is, I cannot pay you. That means, have I misjudged the person I am going to rob? I asked, can you feed me? So he did not answer to my question. He did not give any answer. He asked a question in response to the same. What? Can you cook? I thought this is a good chance to trap him into my... Yes, I can cook. I lied again. So Hari Singh says, I again lied, I can cook. If you can cook, then maybe I can feed you. If you can cook for me, maybe I can feed you. He took me to his room over the Jamna sweet shop and told me I could sleep on the balcony since he had only one room. But the meal I cooked that night, because I lied I can cook. So the meal Hari Singh cooked that night must have been terrible because Anil gave it to a stray dog. Stray dog? One is pet dog, another is stray dogs on the streets. And told me to be off. That means you may leave. You do not know how to cook, so I cannot feed you. But I just hung around. I kept on roaming there only. I did not go. But I just hung around, smiling in my most appealing way, so as to appeal, so as to convince somebody. And he couldn't help laughing. Hari Singh was flattered. So he couldn't stop laughing when I hung around and smiled in my most appealing way, as if I do not know cooking, but still, can you trust me? Can you keep me? And Anil was trapped. Later, he patted me on the head and said, never mind, he would teach me to cook. So Anil was a kind fellow, simple, kind, easygoing. He patted me on the head and said, okay, don't mind, I'll teach you how to cook. He also taught me to write my name and said he would soon teach me to write whole sentences. Anil trusts Hari Singh completely. These are the only two characters in the story. The story revolves around these two characters only. Anil not only taught him to cook but also taught him to write his name and said he would soon teach him to write whole sentences, to add numbers. That means Anil would make Hari Singh a literate person. I was grateful. Anil did not know this 15-year-old guy is a thief. He's going to rob me. So we can understand from this the character of Anil, how simple and good human being he is. I was grateful to Anil for this. I knew that once I could write like an educated man, there would be no limit to what I could achieve. Hari Singh is a 15-year-old boy and a thief. A thief's mentality doesn't cross the limit of robbing. He couldn't understand that if he is educated, he no more needs to rob people. He can earn his living by himself without doing anything of this kind. So a thief would think in the way a thief thinks. So he started thinking, if I'm educated, definitely there would be kind of robberies I could do, and so there would be no limit to what I could achieve as a thief. He's not thinking that I can get a job also, I could be into a profession also. Education is something that can give me, I can be self-dependent. He couldn't understand that. It was quite pleasant working for Anil. I made the tea in the morning and then would take my time buying the day's supplies. Whatever is required for today, he went in the morning to buy all those things. This is buying the day's supplies. Usually making a profit of about ₹1 a day. So I actually made a profit of ₹1 per day. Suppose Anil gave me 20 rupees, Anil gave me 10 rupees to buy all the things needed for the present day, for one particular day, I would definitely make a profit of 1. I would say that it cost around 11 and took that 1 rupee as my own savings. Usually making a profit of about ₹1 a day. I think he knew I made little money this way, but he did not seem to mind. I guess Anil knew this, that I am making money this way. But he did not mind and did not say anything to me. Anil made money by fits and starts. So children, this was a question this year in the board exam. In what queer way did Anil make a living? Strange way did Anil make a living? We'll come to know in this paragraph only. Anil made money by fits and starts. So there is no particular income, particular salary that you do something and you get money every month at a particular time and particular amount. No. Fits and start. Somehow you get next month you're not getting. Maybe the third month you're getting double profit, or maybe the next month even not half. That way. So he would borrow 1 week and lend the next. If he doesn't have money at present, he would borrow from someone. Now when he has a lot of money, suppose he took 100 rupees, now he has 300, he would lend also to his friends or somebody. He would borrow 1 week, lend the next. he kept worrying about his next check. When would the next check arrive? But as soon as it arrived, he would go out and celebrate. He was stressed about when he is going to receive his check. And the moment he received, he celebrated. He didn't mind saving the money for future. It seems he wrote for magazines. So the complete answer is Anil made money by fits and starts. At times he made, at times he didn't. So it seems he wrote for magazines, a queer way to make a living. He wrote for magazines and got his books published and made money through this way. So this is not a regular income. When it's not a regular income, we say he made money by fits and starts. This phrase can be asked in words, meanings, in vocabulary portion in reference to context, since we have multiple choice questions in reference to context from the last year itself. One evening, Anil came home with a small bundle of notes saying he had just sold a book to a publisher. So he said, I've sold a book to the publisher and made some money. At night, I saw him tuck the money under the mattress, keep it under the mattress. I had been working for Anil for almost a month, and apart from cheating on the shopping, had not done anything in my line of work. So the question can be, what is his line of work and who is being talked about? My means, who is this my? Hari Singh. His line of work, what is his line of work? Robbery, cheating people. He's a thief. I had every opportunity for doing so. What opportunity and who had the opportunity, in what way he could do that? So the opportunity was to do something in his line of business of robbing. He could take away all that money and leave the place forever, because Anil would never come to know what his real name was, from where he had come and where he had gone. So Anil trusted Hari Singh so much that he had given him a key to the door, and I could come and go as I pleased. I can take the money and leave as much as I pleased at whatever time I please, because I have the key to the main door. He was the most trusting person I had ever met. So people generally do not trust the servants within few days. But Hari Singh says he was the most trusting fellow I had ever met in my life as a thief. And that is why it was so difficult to rob him. What does he say? He has done study. He has studied the kind of people he has robbed. It's easy to rob a greedy man because he can afford to be robbed. A greedy man himself is desirous, wants to take away many things from others. So he is a greedy man. He knows how to rob, and if he's robbed. So a greedy man can afford to be robbed. He's greedy of things, he'll acquire again. But it's difficult to rob a careless man. Why? Sometimes this careless person doesn't even notice he has been robbed. So Anil is a kind of this fellow. And that takes all the pleasure out of the work. So he feels pleasure when somebody is irritated, depressed at the fact that he has been robbed. So he says it is very difficult to rob a careless man like Anil, because if he doesn't even notice, it takes all the pleasure of robbing such people. Well, it is time I did some real work, he said to himself. He thought upon that I should do some real work. What is that real work he's talking about? Stealing. I told myself, I'm out of practice, and if I don't take the money, he'll only waste it on his friends. So satisfying your conscience like this, he'll only waste it on friends. This is his way of living. How can you decide? After all, he doesn't even pay me. So again, satisfying your conscience that you are doing it right. This is the way. How does the thief think Anil will react to the theft? What does he say about the different reactions of people when they are robbed? Does Anil realize that he has been robbed? Let's find it out from the next part of the story. Anil was asleep. A beam of moonlight stepped over the balcony and fell on the bed. I sat up on the floor. So when he's thinking, he started taking initiative. Now he started taking steps to make his plan come true. I sat up on the floor considering the situation. If I took the money, I could catch the 10:30 express to Lucknow. Slipping out of the blanket, I crept up to the bed, creeping like a creature. So slipping out of the blanket, coming out, I crept up to the bed. Anil was sleeping peacefully. His face was clear and unlined. Unlined? Without any worries on his face. Easygoing person, doesn't bother much about life and what life has to offer, the problems or the good days. So clear and unlined. Even I had more marks on my face, though mine were mostly scars. So he says there were no lines on his face, no tension on his face. I was tensed more than him. I had more marks on my face, though mine were mostly scars. Scars are when you're hurt, when you get injured somewhere. So mine were mostly scars. My hand slid under the mattress. He's trying to take out what? Definitely money. My hand slid under the mattress, searching for the notes. When I found them, I drew them out without making a sound. Anil sighed in his sleep. This is sighing. Anil sighed in his sleep and turned on his side. He changed. Karvat badalna, right? He turned on his side towards me. I was startled, surprised, and quickly crawled out of the room. Crawling is without making much noise. So I was just surprised that he's looking easy awake, but then quickly crawled out of the room. When I was on the road, I began to run so as to catch the Lucknow Express. I had the notes at my waist, held there by the string of my pajamas. I slowed down to a walk and counted the notes. 600 rupees in 50s. Hari Singh, who had been making a profit of 1 rupee per day, had he worked for 30 days also, he would not have got this much money, 600 rupees, which he got at once. So I could live like an oil-rich Arab. So Arabs are very rich. They sell oil to the whole world. So I could live like an oil-rich Arab for a week or two. Later on, I'll decide my next target, the person I'm going to rob next after Anil. So did he succeed in his mission? Did he walk away? We'll find out in the next part of the story. Till then, goodbye.